Good morning. I hope everybody had a great weekend. It was excellent to see so many of you this past Friday night. It was a night filled with just great community spirit. The band sounded amazing. The cheerleaders had the student section all rowdy. The dance team was excellent. And our football team got its first dominant win of the season. Friday night really was a great way to end the first full week of school.
Today, we'll hear from Ms. Kewen. First, she'll share information on this year's interim choices. Clearly, the COVID landscape is ever-changing, and we're closely monitoring the numbers around us. But our hope is that we will be able to move forward with these experiences in March. And secondly, she'll give a reorientation to the upper school library. Without any more delay, here is Ms. Kewen.
Good morning. I am here to talk to you about interim for next year. The time to register is coming up quickly, so I want to make sure I talk to you about where to go to register and what to expect with interim for the coming year. The first thing you'll need to do is think about what you need to think about before you register. First, note that interim is March 7th through the 11th. That's pretty early in March, and is followed immediately by spring break. Some of our trips go into spring break, so please note the dates of the trip so you don't mess a family vacation up or you're surprised when you're not home on time. Registration for interim is all online, even career exploration, or if you want to be an intern or community service, everything is online. And so I need to know where you're going to be that week so I can kind of plan accordingly. Payment is by credit card in full through My Randolph. So if you don't know how to use My Randolph, that's going to be a problem. Make sure that you understand how to get into your account and how to use it. Freshmen, remember that you are going to Chicago and your registration was taken care of earlier. Full descriptions of the interim experience is on Canvas. If you go to the upper school Canvas page and then click on interim, that's where the descriptions of the trips are. And they're very much like what I'm about to show you. Registration for seniors will happen on September the 10th. Seniors register a little bit earlier. They have a full week to make up their mind what they're going to do. At 8 a.m., registration will open. Seniors, you'll need to have a credit card on hand that your parent has approved you to use to register for your trip. It will go through My Randolph, and the full payment is due. It's not split into two payments. Registration then opens up on the 14th for 10th and 11th grade. Make sure you read the registration and refund policies very carefully. Some students in the past have signed up for multiple trips and then were disappointed to learn that there was no refund, or there was a minimal refund. So make sure you're really sure where you want to go, where you talk to me about it, so that you aren't stuck signed up for multiple trips and no way to get your money back. Let's see, read the code of conduct very carefully. Understand what the rules are. The last thing you want is a parent having to fly to France to get you because you broke a rule. So understand what the behavioral expectations are and be ready and on board with that. Once you get registered, turn in all the paperwork that I need as soon as you can. For example, if you are going to France, I will need a copy of your passport. If you don't have a passport, you will need to apply for one immediately. And that passport will have to be good through September 1st, 2022. That's not a date I set, that's a date that our travel partners set with the State Department. And it's to get you back into the country safely. So please get me copies of passports, or if I need you to fill out some different application or liability form, make sure you get all that filled out on time. All right, let's take a look at some of our trips. The first trip is our one international trip, and it is to France. The cost is $4,100 if 20 people sign up to go. We would love our French-speaking students to go on this trip, but it's not limited to only French students. Other students can go as well. The trip does go into spring break a little bit, the following Monday of spring break. So make sure you take a look at that and talk to your family about whether that's possible. Dr. Green and Mrs. Lawson are leading this trip, and they've led it before. They can speak to you at length about all the wonderful things you would see on this trip. Great trip, and it's led by EF. It's one of our travel partners that we really rely on. So that's an opportunity. Our next trip I want to talk to you about is our trip to Alaska. This is $3,479, and it can take up to 20 students. It is led by Mrs. Booth and Mrs. Logan and leaves on a Sunday and comes back that same Friday. Again, can take up to 20 students, and you'll see hopefully the northern lights, maybe see some dog sledding, some whale watching, a really unique opportunity to go to Alaska, maybe one of those things you might not ever do again. So think about this trip. The next one I want to introduce you to is the Florida Keys. This trip is $2,599. It is led by Miss Andrada and Mr. O'Halloran, and it's an ecology tour. You'll study the Everglades, you'll study sea turtles, kayak through mangroves, do some birding, some diving, all sorts of wonderful opportunities to enjoy that area. And it is a Monday through Friday of interim trip. The following is a Puerto Rico trip. This costs $2,583, and it is up to 30 students who may travel on this. Priority is given to Spanish-speaking or students who are studying Spanish, hopefully having completed 3 to 4 years of Spanish. If you are not in a Spanish class and would really like to go on this trip, please talk to Senora Almodovar and see what she says. It does leave on a Sunday and come back the next Saturday. And Senora Almodovar has done this trip many, many times. She can speak to you at length about all the wonderful things and the great fun you would have on this tour while speaking Spanish and practicing your world languages. The next trip is an out west adventure, $2,869, traveling with Mrs. Santos and Coach Gaunt. Now, this leaves on a Sunday, and then it gets back like really, really, really early in the morning on the following Saturday. It can take up to 24 students, and this is a very, very outdoorsy and physical trip. So if you're not into hiking and mountain biking and being outdoors a lot, this may not be your favorite place to be, but it is a fun trip, challenging, and a wonderful tour of the beauty of the western part of our country. The next trip is a wonderful tour of Nashville via the Culinary Trail, $1,268. This is led by Mr. and Mrs. Hillink and Mr. Davis, and they can take up to 13 students. You will attend cooking classes. You will go to a chocolate factory, perhaps. You'll do a lot of eating at various venues. You'll listen to some music, do some service work, perhaps go to the Y and work off some of the food you're eating. The Hatch Print Shop, there is so much fun on this trip. Then you'll come back and prepare a meal for your family. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Hillink can give you all sorts of details on this trip. The next is the Writers Colony. This is $950. You travel by very nice coach bus to Eureka Springs and stay in a retreat there. They love to see us come. They brag about us. It's led by Ms. Russick and Mr. G. And it is a Sunday to Thursday trip. There are 12 students max. And you work on a project of your choosing. It could be an art project. It could be a writing project. It could be something like a dance routine you've been trying to find time to work on, or an essay, or writing a program. It's basically any concentrated work that you would like to get done in a retreat sort of atmosphere. Speak to Ms. Russick or Mr. G to learn more about this trip. Washington, D.C. and New York City, $2,350. There's a limit of 26 students on this trip. It is led by Mr. Matthews and Mr. Rayford. Priority will be given to 10th and 11th grade students, those that missed trips in the past because of our COVID situation. Basically, this is a tour of all the wonderful art and history in those two magnificent cities. I will leave you to speak to Mr. Matthews and Mr. Rayford about it. But no, this is going to be jam-packed, full of tons of things to do, lots of things to see, Broadway shows, ferries, museums, a wonderful opportunity to take in those two cities. Dr. Weinberg is offering an opportunity to, in conjunction with the state choir or AllState Choir experience, to have a choral experience. Go ahead and attend AllState Choir if you make it. And then also, in addition, during that week to visit with and observe other choirs in our area. The Oakland Choir, which is world famous, visiting with the Huntsville Chorus Association. Again, Dr. Weinberg can give you more detail. The cost of this trip is kind of up in the air because we really don't know how many people will make the AllState Choir trip. And so that will determine the price. I urge you to speak to Dr. Weinberg about this because he's the only one that can really adequately describe it. We also have a habitat trip, which is $650. This is led by Mr. Salster and Ms. McCall. You go to Marysville, Tennessee. You take up to 15 students and you work on whatever projects they have available for us. Additionally, it appears everybody has a lot of fun while doing it. Building houses, giving service, and having fun and fellowship. In the past, you've had to be 16 at the time of the trip. We will determine whether that's still the case or not. Check with me and we'll see for sure. Local experiences here in town. If you would like to really be in a lab at Hudson Alpha for a full week, you have an opportunity here. The cost is $776. You would go on their campus for a week and be in a lab that includes lunch and work on a project which could be used then further in the classroom. So there's a 5-day project. The particular project they're working on now is something that Mrs. Weezy is probably going to determine with their staff so that it can be kind of lengthened into the school year. But it's a great opportunity to be actually in a lab, a working lab that is famous worldwide. Finally, a week of service. I'm going to go ahead and lead this up this year. And what we'll do is participate in a number of different projects here in town, which I will organize. However, there's one caveat. If you have a project that you really want to do for a week, and it's a legitimate project, it's not like a career exploration, it's a project that you want to do and you have a contact that you can get me in touch with, you are free to create your own week-long service project. It does need to be 35 hours and it has to be approved by me by a certain date. Those proposals are due to me by the 28th. Okay, so I will have the paperwork here in the library. I'll have it all printed out and you'll fill it in and run it by me to get approval. Or you can just sign up for the one that we make for you. You can also do a career exploration. Now there's a couple of things to think about here as well. You can create your own career exploration and we want you to do that. Contact people that you know through your parents or friends or community. And then you'll fill out a piece of paper and it will be due to me by November the 19th. Okay, it'll be due to me by the same date as this one. So it'll be due to me by January 28th. If you're a sophomore and you're doing this, you need to get in touch with me a little sooner so we can talk about expectations. So that would be by November the 19th. All sophomores pursuing a career shadow should meet with me by November the 19th for approval. What if you can't find anything? You know you want to do a career exploration, but just can't think of anything or do anything. Then please come get a form for career exploration help. This must be requested by the 24th. If you don't ask for help by the 24th, we will not have enough time to find you a spot. So the form will be in the library and you'll come up and get the form from me and then you'll turn it back into me by the 24th. Leadership opportunities. Our freshmen are going to Chicago for a cost of $1,100. You too can go to Chicago. What you will do is submit an application. And the deadline is the 16th to get your application in. The applications, again, will be up here in the library. You can be in 11th or 12th grade, and you'll go on that Chicago trip, and you'll act as an intern, a helper for all the other chaperones. So you get a deeply discounted price. You get to see all the good fun stuff and help out a bit. Get that on your resume. So it's a great opportunity. We need about 10, and there is an interview process. If you're worried you wouldn't be chosen, or if I know that there's a lot more than 10 applying, please talk to me. I can help you kind of navigate this situation. Worst comes to worst, you can go ahead and apply for a trip if I think it's a trip that's going to fill up, and then we can talk about the internship as well. So talk to me, let's talk through this, and we'll figure out what the best thing for you to do is. Chicago, of course, the ninth grade is going to Chicago. And I'm not going to show you this video right now, but there is a video that I will post. Questions. What do you do next? Study the Canvas interim pages. Go to upper school information and then interim. Talk to your parents. Talk to them about the cost of the trips. Talk to them about the dates. Make sure it's a date that you can work with your family. I will have these Canvas pages done by the time you're looking at them. Read the registration policies, codes of conduct. Make sure you know how to log into My Randolph. Decide what's right for you and then register as soon as your date comes in. So either the 10th if you're a senior or the 14th if you're not. Make sure you know the refundable policy and whether something is refundable. And that's pretty much the end of our presentation. Now I'm going to put this presentation on the upper school library page so that you can look at it. And if you ask, I will email it to your parents. And of course, we'll have our information inforama for parents to come on September the 1st in the evening. And I think it'll be in the TAC. So your parents can come and I'll do the exact same presentation and they can get more details. So let them know that's available. Again, stop and see me with any questions or send me a Canvas message. I'd love to talk to you, and thanks for listening. Good morning. It's been a minute since we've been able to use the upper school library in any sort of normal fashion. So I wanted to do a quick video just to let you know what's available here, what our expectations are, what kind of tools are available, and answer any other questions you might have. So the upper school library is located on the 3rd floor. It's in the middle of the building above the Commons. When you walk in, there's a lobby. In the lobby, I have summer reading information hanging for you. These are all the groups and who's leading them and where they're meeting. We're meeting on August the 27th, and that date is there as well. If you can't remember what book you signed up for and still want to get that book read, which you have plenty of time to do, your name should be on this list. If it's not in the main body of the list, it might be at the end where all the lowercase letters are. So check the list thoroughly to find yourself. Additionally, I try to put a copy of the morning report there, as well as the lunch menu, so you know what's for lunch. There's a sign that reminds you there is no food allowed in the library. No Chick-fil-A, no nothing, so leave that behind. We do allow beverages. Just make sure they're covered. In case they spill, it won't be as big a spill. The library is also a designated safe space for all students. To the left, when you come in, you'll find the printer. That is the most commonly asked question in the first semester is, where's the printer? Printer's there. Our printer has a name. His name is Kopi. And Kopi is also a copy machine. So if you need to copy something, let me know. There's a trick to it. I'll teach you the trick. I'll also teach you how to load paper in it. Please don't do that yourself. It'll jam. Thank you. To the right of the photocopy machine, you'll find some whiteboards, markers, graph paper, regular paper, all the tools you need to be a good student. There's also a pencil sharpener over here as well. There are some sofas nearby where you can sit and look at magazines. You are free to take these home and look at them at home as well. Just bring them back when you're done. More magazines, Car and Driver, history magazines, consumer reports, and of course new books. If you're interested and have some time to read for fun, I really encourage it. I have a copy of the Honor Pledge here because I want you to understand that if you come into the library after you've taken a test and you're talking about the test, then you're not being very careful to follow the Honor Pledge. A lot of students will come in and say, hey, how'd you do? What was the answer to number 3? Make sure that there is no one in the room that has not taken the test. Do not talk about it until everybody has taken the test. To the right when you come in is a place to return books. And then I sit there as well. This is a copy without a mask. I will have a mask on. My name's Miss Kewen, in case I haven't said that already. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. We also have the checkout machine where you can look up a book and see if we have it, or check it out. It has some kinks right now. It's new, it's an iPad. It doesn't work quite as the same as the other one did, but it will get better. We're working on that. Additionally, we have some Kleenex, hand sanitizer. If you're making a big decision, there's a magic 8 ball to help you along. and a meeting room. If two of you want to get together and use this room, or just one of you needs to use the room, that's fine, but it is for your use. And I just ask that no more than 2 people be in there at any given time. The body of the library this year will be quiet. There is no place on campus for quiet study except the library. So please keep that in mind. You can talk to whoever's sitting next to you, but it's not a place to come and socialize and chat and carry on. Try to keep 4 people per table for now, since we are doing some social distancing still. And always, always, always have your mask on. If you need to take it off to take a quick drink, fine, but put it right back on. No slow drinking. If you are not actively putting the beverage to your mouth, then your mask should be on. There are study carols. If you want to get some work done when it's really quiet over here, you can also borrow some headphones. I have the old-fashioned kind that plug into your computer. And I also have just noise-canceling earphones that, like the airport employees wear to cancel all noise. In the back, I have a big whiteboard where you can get together and brainstorm with a larger group. Let me know if you want to use that, and we'll facilitate a time and make sure we're not bothering anyone else. And then finally, the library lounge. The library classroom has been turned into more of a lounge area where students can go to decompress. You can chat, you can use the whiteboard, you can brainstorm, you can just kind of lay down and stare at your phone. Just remember that the door can close, but it's not soundproof. So although it is a great place to chat with your friends, also use it responsibly and make sure your masks are always on and that you're not eating. Thanks. If you have any questions, come see me or shoot me a Canvas message. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hewen. Turning to athletics this week, our fall seasons are now underway after a very successful first week last week. Cross country had a great outing at Bob Jones on Saturday and will now head to Scottsboro for the Black and Gold Invitational Saturday. Football goes on the road to Glencoe after the big Friday night win. And volleyball has a full week with the varsity taking on Oakwood Christian in the first home game later tonight, Brindley Mountain and Vinemont on Thursday, and will play in Gunnersville Saturday. The JV team will take on Brindley Mountain, Vinemont, and then play in the James Clemens tournament Saturday morning. Good luck to all those teams. In other announcements, make sure that we continue to wear a mask when inside. If you need a mask break, please make use of the Commons lawn outside. I love just how many people have begun taking advantage of that space. If you're not wearing a mask inside, you will receive points. Freshmen, tomorrow during consultation time, you will have Naviance orientation in the Thurber Art Center. Be sure to bring your computer. We use Naviance in many ways, including Honor Council voting, which will take place on Thursday in advisory. Also during Thursday's advisory, everyone will be taking the Freedom from Chemical Dependency survey. This survey is completely anonymous. We take this survey every 4 years to help the leaders of our FCD week later in the year as they bring that programming. It's important that we all complete it and are honest. If you are interested in starting or leading a club, please see Coach Morris. We're preparing for our upcoming club fair, and he can help guide you through the process to start a club. Anyone interested in the National Art Honor Society should plan on attending the informational meeting next Tuesday. If you have any questions about this Honor Society, please see Ms. LaRose.
Thank you for your time and attention today. Hopefully everybody has an excellent second week to the school year. Be excellent to each other. Seniors, you are dismissed.